Hello everybody out there, I'm Chris.
Mike.
And welcome back to another indie comic book review. And the books in this review were released on
March 4th, 2015, the first week of March.
However, and by the way, this is a double header. We have this and the big 2 countdown.
Yep.
Review, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to start calling it a review because it is a countdown, but anyway.
Yeah.
And before we get into the books that were released this week, let's go to the books that were released before this week. And we're starting again with Nightmare World Volume 1, chapters
10 and 11.
10 and 11.
Yeah, so
First
10...
chapter is Life in a Glass House.
Yeah, and in this story, it's just about this guy who goes into space, and he has a little bit less oxygen left, and he's just trying, to find out where he is and everything. So with that, there's he's trying to get to his, the commanders that are in charge of this to give him oxygen. So as he's trying to, find out what's going on, like basically the commander's not going to give him oxygen because of the stuff that he did in the past, like something, like going out with a 14-year-old girl and stuff. So
Whoa.
Yeah, he was kind of a pedophile, and the guy let him die for that, as I believe a sin. So that's something else. So when we go into the next chapter, 11, it's called Mine. And in Mine, this is just like an all-around story. Like, first it talks about a knight that wants to do wrath. I'm guessing it relates to like the 7 deadly sins and stuff, like gluttony. Like the other one was telling this girl, "Oh, lose some weight, and then I'll go out with you." And then she throws away her baby, and then she loses her job because of some raw meat products or whatever that was going on there. Then there's this guy who is with this other guy's girlfriend, so there's like a cheating thing going on. Lust. And at the end of the story, there's a archangel that says, he I think some about all the sins have been, what was it saying?
Except sloth.
Oh, they were being represented except sloth, and he thought if his father should give him ideas, and he appeared not to be there. So basically, it was about the 7 deadly sins except sloth. That was in the story. So I really liked the 2 stories. I thought that they were great. I think the other 2 remaining chapters will end Volume 1, I believe. So I think next episode we conclude Volume 1.
Alright, but we're not concluding Volume 1 of Tales of Mystery. And in this chapter...
I think it's the 5th chapter.
Yes, this is the 5th chapter. In this chapter, because the 3rd chapter was the origin, 4th one, we went into the demon child. Now this one, Mystery is sent on a mission, so to speak, from Sean Michael Esric. I hope I said his name right. And it turns out that we find out that Esric, or I'm going to call him Sean ends up sending Mystery on a... Wild Goose Chase. He sends him to a swamp, and then out of nowhere, a Cthulhu shows up. Apparently people were going missing. So he finds out it's a Cthulhu, and he has to fight him alone, because Sean never showed up. And that's how the chapter actually begins. He storms into Sean's house, pissed off, saying, "Where the hell were you? Feels like I was being set up." And then Sean starts, and then he kind of snaps out of, Sean kind of tries to calm him down with magic. And he snapped out of it and asked Sean, "Why did you set me up?" And it turns out Sean was forced to by somebody, we don't know who, but we find out in this chapter, and this is a very important piece to the entire first volume, that somebody wants to destroy Mystery, but not just destroy him, they're going to make everything he cares about burn. And that's the end of the chapter. And this chapter is actually called Gentle Art of Making Enemies. And we find out that Shane actually is talking with the, with the person that's conspiring against Mystery at the beginning of the chapter. And we're going to find out later on who that person is. But all in all, this was an excellent chapter. I like the Cthulhu monster. The Cthulhu monster's still out there. Mystery couldn't beat him, but he managed to escape just in time.
So, wow. Wow.
Loved it. I love the artwork in this book. I like the black and white. I know in volume 2 it's not black and white anymore. It gets color. But all in all, it was an excellent issue.
Absolutely.
I would definitely recommend checking out Tales of Mystery Volume 1 as we move forward.
So we got one physical copy this week from Zenescope, and it's my book, White Queen, issue 2 of 3. And in this issue, I really thought was really excellent. Like, basically, the White Queen is trying to figure out how to defeat the Dark Queen and what her weakness is. So we find a little bit about that. Like, also, oh god, the cat's name. Why do
Cheshire.
Thank you. He actually tries to keep her calm so that way she doesn't lose her mind and everything. I love the artwork. I mean, absolutely 100%. So we get a little origin of the Dark Queen that might be a way to, to defeat her, what her weakness is. And I don't want to give too much away because I want you guys to read it. Trickster actually shows up and gives the White Queen a bit of a challenge. These from the what's that thing? The Clash of Wonderland.
Clash of Queens.
Yeah, Clash of Queens. They appear in the story that want to help. One of them actually wants to help with the White Queen's daughter, actually, because they can relate and stuff like that. So I thought that was nice. And there's just this scene at the end. The White Queen is going up against someone. And if you want to find out who it is, I am not going to spoil it. You're going to have to read the book. But it was really excellent. I really love how just the next issue, I just can't wait for the next issue to come out. Once again, they did it again. The cliffhangers. I love it. Can't wait to see what happens in that one. But highly recommended you check White Queen.
Alright. Now we're going into the digital books. We only have one physical book this week. And honorable mention goes out to Garfield, issue 35, 9 Lives, part 3 of 4. I enjoyed the artwork from the... I believe it was the second one, if I'm not mistaken. I like the Superman one, not the artwork. I enjoyed the story with the Superman, or the Super Cat one, in the first chapter. And then the second one was interesting. I like how they're changing... I understand that they're changing artwork because it all, it fits in with the time periods. But I can't wait till we get out of this and we go back to just a regular Garfield artwork again, because I missed that. But honorable mention there, I really am enjoying Garfield. It is one of my few guilty pleasures, comic reading wise. And we're now in Dynamite, Army of Darkness, issue number 4. Larry Watts' artwork in this book, I gotta say, is amazing.
It's always have been. Always.
I've read a lot of Army of Darkness books. I liked a lot of the artwork, but this artwork fits so well with Ash in space. So you got Mech Suit Ash versus Dark Ash, or Electronic Dark Ash. And this book is just a bunch of fight. This is action from beginning to end. You have the woman who is the only one left that isn't possessed by the Necronomicon, and she tries to break her friend, out of the influence of the darkness. Doesn't work. She ends up killing her and trying to save Ash and break the Necronomicon, so to speak. I'm not going to say how it happens, but the Necronomicon does separate from Dark Ash and he falls. However, this isn't the last part to the story. Something happens, I'm not going to say how, and let's just say the Necronomicon flies off into space, and now it's up to Ash to get it back. But how?
Oh, wow. That's to be concluded, too.
And the Dark Satellite launches itself, so next issue is the last issue in this story part, at least. So next up, we got a number 1, and it's from the pages of Project Superpowers, Blackcross, issue number 1.
Yes. Blackcross issue number 1, like, I found it a little bit interesting in the beginning. Like, there's this guy who hears voice in his head just saying to burn himself, and then he just goes in the water, just all flames and everything else. Then there's these detectives who go to the lake, like, saying, like, what happened and all this other stuff that's been going on, because there's been much of stuff. So they're going to go to Blackcross, which is a city near them. Then there's this drunken woman who gets, not possessed, like, after she's drunk, like, There's these two mystical creatures that visit her for some things that she has to do. Then we get introduced to a new character who's in a witness protection program because he can't use his real name for obvious reasons. You'll have to read the book to find out because it's too long to explain. And in the end, they find out the flame from the beginning of the book was in the water. So now they're saying, well, ain't that a thing? Because you don't really see that nowadays. So I thought it was really interesting. It kind of looks like a detective book at first, but it's really more along the lines of other characters that are in the book. I think it only focuses on 2 point of view characters, but it's really amazing. I thought it was a good first issue for that one.
Now, I guess the next volume of Blood Queen begins with Blood Queen versus Dracula, issue number 1. And issue number 1 focuses mostly on Dracula. And we find out that actually, I don't want to give too much dialogue away because this is really good. But you have Dracula, and one of his maidens actually is able to use blood magic, and she tries to use it. First of all, something happens with her, and she has to use it. But then she comes face to face with Dracula, who tries to suck her blood, and it turns out that she dies, and he inherits blood magic. I guess through sucking the blood. I have no clue, to be honest. And then it jumps to the present, where Dracula comes back, and there's Blood Queen in a pool. And he's like, and she actually says, I know you're legend, and I'm the thing that you always need. And he's like, what? You're queen. To be continued.
Ooh.
This was a good first issue. It set up Dracula really well, and definitely looking forward to seeing what happens next. All right, we're in Boom Studios now with Feathers, issue number 3.
Yes, I read
of 6.
this issue.
So we're halfway through now.
Yeah, so in the first issue, we get the father who's very upset about his son, like seeing that the girl found out that, who he is and everything, because he wasn't supposed to he wasn't supposed to show himself to anybody. And, he found out that she's a city girl, and you said, you shouldn't trust them because they'll turn you in, and yada, 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 and all the other stuff. Then we get this, this creature, I can't remember what his name is. I don't think they give a name. And the mousers, not the mousers, wow. The mice, I'm thinking of the Ninja Turtles for some reason. The mice, actually, which is a group of the small kids, thinks that's Feathers that kidnapped the kid because of all the stuff that's going on. And he's trying to explain that he is not the one that's behind all this. So he goes on the adventure with the little girl and the guy, Z I think his name is, and tries to tell the leader of the mice, like saying, we should help the girl get to the city. And of course, there's always a plan, kill 2 birds in 1 stone. So I knew you couldn't trust him, and he was so naive to trust him, really. So then Feathers sees a little vision. If you want to find out what it is, you'll have to read the book. And yeah, so like I said, he just got the both of them, and he just wants to kill Feathers because, like I said before, he thinks that he's behind this whole kidnapping thing, where he's really not. It's that, I don't know who that character is, the one that whistles and the red notes come out or something like that. I can't remember the name, but it is really turning interesting. And they're trying to find the little girl, and they do. In the middle of the fight of going on with Feathers and the leader of mice. I think it was B, probably his name was. But that was really interesting.
Nice.
I really would definitely recommend you check out this issue of it.
Alright, we're in Dark Horse. And Angel and Faith, issue number 12. I know I missed a couple of issues, guys. I believe it was issue 10. And I skipped issue 11 because I had to wait for 10. So we're in a new story arc. Issue 11 started a new story arc. Faith is back, and she brings Fred to Angel. And Fred used to be Alira. She used to be possessed by a demon called Alira. This has something to do with the series, I'm sure, because I didn't read this in Angel and Faith thus far. And it turns out that Eldre Coe shows up looking for Alira. And you get his entire background story in this issue, how he was a warrior. He went away, he came back, his entire town was destroyed, and he was wrongfully charged with the death of his family and his town. Then he was put into at some type of a sphere, a magical sphere. Magic died, he got free, and now he's looking for answers and to find the person that actually killed his entire town. And he wants Fred to reach into herself and channel Illyra to help Ko find the person that did that. And she can't do it because when Magic died, Illyra's influence on Fred died. And now they're kind of inhabiting the same body, but Illyra is evil, to my knowledge, so she's trying to keep her at bay. And in this book, Faith actually leaves right away. Angel really and her only have a day together from the last issue to this issue. She goes back to the agency, you get a little bit of that, and then we go back to Angel, and we get a little background on Illyra, and that it was really, spoiler alert, Illyra who destroyed the town and killed all the people. But Fred is still suffering to control. She's fighting to control Illyra from coming out again. And when she gets tired, she has to rest, or else bad stuff happens. So Angel goes after Ko, who starts a bar fight. Really good stuff. It ends with Angel finally confronting Ko again because Fred is worried that he's going to come back and try to force Illyra out of her. So, really good issue. I enjoyed it. Artwork, as always, is great. Now we're jumping into Valiant for one book, and that is X-O Manowar, issue number 34.
Yep, the adventures of Arak continue, and from what we saw in the last issue, in this issue, we see that these Martian or aliens are trying...
All with exosuits.
Yeah, want to go up against the exosuits and everything, from what we saw in the last issue. Meanwhile, Arak is just saying, you know, I have a mission I have to do, and I must honor that. And he's just saying, you know, to tell Santa that, you know, that I'm sorry, because he probably meant not to say goodbye to her, because he still has feelings for what happened in the past with this other woman that he fell in love with. So these Martians, or alien-like creatures, they're causing chaotic stuff all around everywhere, and it is just really dark. Like, just the whole war is just happening, like, right there, right now, and Arak is just there to say, you know, I'm not going to see this go on no further, just stop this, because, you know, like, he's a hero, and he has to, and he wants to just stop everything of what's going on. So, things don't look a little bit good, but then after a while, he just goes up, he encounters with the Dead Hand, which is a big black-like moon with a face on it, and it's very strong, and
reminds me of the Death Star a little bit.
Kinda, yeah. I thought I was the only one, but it kinda does, and if you want to find out how that goes, not gonna spoil it. You're gonna have to read the book. I really don't want to spoil it because it really would give too much away, and I don't want to give away the ending, because Valiant comic books of X-O Manowar, a lot of people should really check it out, because it's leading into something really big that's going to happen in the Valiant comic books.
Alright, we have this new book. I looked through it. It looked really interesting. I wanted you to read it. Citizen of the Galaxy, Act 1 or Issue 1.
Yeah.
And the slave boy ends up getting adopted by this guy who I believe is a spy, but we don't find that out till the end of the book. Go ahead.
Yeah, because there was an auction for the boy, and then, like you said, there's this guy who looks like that he's a bum, or a hobo actually, that takes him in. But what the people don't know is that he has a secret hideout base underground where he raised him like he was his own, actually. And also, you know, there's like a whole thing where how he grew up with him, and just like he was like this nice guy that wanted to help him. Thoris, I think his name was. Yeah, Thoris. And you know, and he called him, I think, just Pop or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he was like a son that he never had to him. So he helps him out with all these visions, like saying, whatever you saw that was in the past, wipe it away clean, so that way you can begin anew and good dreams will happen. I thought that was a really touching moment. There was one part where he stole something and then he said that I will not have this, and if you steal again, I will sign you away and you will not be no longer part of me, of the family.
You'll not. You'll
Like, I basically, he'll just
again.
throw him out, basically, in that sense. So he promises never to do that again. So he meets up with this other guy.
It's the father. He's a spy.
Father.
He's a master of disguise, so to
Right,
speak.
and he wanted to translate to this guy in a different language because and learned as that he was dying, and he wanted to tell him in a different language that, and to take him in since he no longer can do that. And he also taught him juggling and all that stuff. So.
But then he releases the boy at the end of the issue, or the young man now.
Wait, does he tell him when he gets older, I think?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he says it when he gets older. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah. So he tells him that when he gets older to take him in. And all in all, it was really a heartfelt book, and I liked the artwork too, actually. And he tells him that, and
Turns out that the pop or the person that adopted him ended up dead in the end.
yeah, but
That was sad.
That was sad. This was a really touching book. Like I got a little bit mixed up because I really liked the book. It was just, I would say that that's digitally best book of the week for the indies. Citizens of the Galaxy.
I really enjoyed Godzilla Rulers of Earth, issue number 21. It was another really nice read. I enjoyed it. Again, the dialogue, the story, I hate when they try to make too deep of a story. And, you know, when it comes to Godzilla, let's admit it, it's a monster fight. It's always been, always will be, except for that horrible Godzilla movie that came out where you hardly saw Godzilla and it focused on the people, and that's why the movie went pfft. But anyway, you got Godzilla fighting a bunch of monsters here. Great artwork to show the tale, so to speak. And it was just an excellent read all the way till the end. Definitely looking forward to next month's issue. I don't know how long this series is. I guess it could be considered an ongoing at this point because we've been, we're 21 issues in. So
I
basically
think you look forward to more of the
plus.
monster fight.
I do, and the artwork's beautiful. The one thing I love is the artwork and the monster fights and the
How much time
action.
we got?
We have enough time for this one, I'm sure. Yes, we do.
Be sure. Okay. All right. The last book for this week, the Powerpuff Girls Super Smash Up, issue number 2.
And this time there were Courage the Cowardly Dog, I guess.
Yes, and the reason why is because Dexter is trying to find his sister who got exposed to Chemical X that turned into this hideous monster.
Oh dear God.
So they have Chemical Y to actually change it back. No, I'm serious. This is serious.
Just keep
They
going.
find the source of where she could be, which is at Courage's place in Nowhere Land or Nowhere place?
I don't know.
Wherever Courage lives, I really can't remember right now. But so yeah, so they dog sit for Courage because they thought that they were the dog sitters and everything, and they're waiting for the rightful owner of the dog sitter to come, and he does come, but he was more scary than and Courage is just trying to be brave and everything with the monster that came in, and then they try to give her the Chemical Y, and then that burst, and then things didn't turn out so well because she escaped. So now they have a portal to go into another world. Now there was a little of an dialogue. Yeah, the foster home thingamajigger. And there was just like a little bit of that of just what they do, regular stuff. And
It was just a foster home mini.
yeah, it was just a foster home mini. And the next one looks like Cow and Chicken are going to be in it, along with the Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. So I really like how they're bringing back the people that we saw from last issue, but some of them are new, like Courage. Courage was new and wasn't part of the other series that happened months ago. But I really like how it's turning out so far. It's really interesting and definitely something to bring back that Cartoon Network childhood in you a little bit.
Alright, with that, that's it for this indie review, guys. Don't forget to check out Comic Related, Comic Frontline Zone 4 Podcast, and Frontline Gaming Zone. Together, we are your #1 source for comic-related news, reviews, and a whole bunch more. Feel free to leave comments below. Let us know what you think about any of these books here. Agree, disagree, recommendations. We'd love to hear it all, and we will answer your guys' comments in the comments below. Back on my regular schedule. So happy.
Yep.
Things are going to be starting. The gears are going to start working their way this week, and then by next week, we're going to be moving full steam ahead. Friday the 13th, by the way, is this Friday. We're going to have a Friday the 13th special. We're going to be doing some stuff on Comic Frontline, some special videos pertaining to Friday the 13th. So look forward to that. Mystery Box Mayhem. You never know what mystery box is going to come in the mail.
Oh, yeah.
Anything can show up at any time. We are constantly checking out new boxes. We got 2 boxes for this month that we only got 4 this month that are food related. But other than that, once April comes, it's going to be just stuff. Stuff, and more stuff. And if there's food in between the stuff, then that's great. But we're only doing the food crates or boxes for 1 month.
And we will try them. We're not just going to show them and that's it. We're going to try them at least.
So until literally a couple of minutes from now or the next video, we will see you guys in the next review, which we are going to be recording right after this. So take care, everybody. Keep reading, keep collecting, and we'll see you guys really soon, literally, in the next review.
Later, everybody.